Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick 16 of my favorite 31 hard rock and heavy metal albums of the 70s. We've been counting down each and every day here in July 2023, 31 days in the month, my 31 favorite heavy albums of the 70s. Of course, we've come to a time where I just had to talk about this band. This band is, for me, very, very interesting because I could have easily had 5 or 6 of their albums at least, probably more, in my countdown. But do all of them really qualify as hard rock? Obviously not metal, but they have so many hard rock moments. And I had to think, I'm like, well, I think there are albums of theirs I really like. They're more rock albums, right? But they do have a couple of albums that, are blisteringly heavy and definitely qualify as hard rock, including this one that I'm going to talk about today. So, and again, I could have chosen a bunch of them. You have to make decisions, right, when you do this. This is their debut album, right? British band. It came out July 13th, 1973, September 4th in 73 here in the U.S., everywhere else in July. Recorded at Delaney Studios in London, England, as well as Trident Studios, also in London. Produced by John Anthony, the band, and Roy Thomas Baker for EMI Electro Records. I'm talking about the debut album from Queen, simply titled Queen. I had to have Queen on this list somewhere. The problem was trying to choose which of the albums would make the cut here, because they may have 1 or 2 albums that I like a little bit more than this one. Maybe it's close. This is definitely one of my favorites. It's a top 3. But some of the albums are not, they're not really all that heavy. They have their heavy moments, but would I call them, total hard rock albums? So are they prog albums? What are they? Are they pop rock albums? Are they just rock albums? I don't know. This album, though, the debut, is all pretty much start to finish a rousing hard rockin' affair, and that's the reason why it's making the cut on here. So of course we've got in the band Freddie Mercury on lead vocals, piano, little Hammond organ, Brian May, guitars, piano, backing vocals, Roger Taylor, drums, percussion, lead vocals on the track, backing vocals, and John Deacon John himself on bass guitar. What's on this album is just absolutely incredible. You've got the supercharging Keep Yourself Alive. That guitar sound, so good, right? Brian May, what a player. One of the most underrated. Again, everybody knows Brian May, but when you kind of talk about the great guitar players of the last 50 years, right? Does his name usually come anywhere up near the top? Not really, but such a unique player. Great soloist, and another one of those fantastic riff guys, just so good. But Keep Yourself Alive is just absolutely terrific. His guitar tone on that, the little licks riffs he does throughout that song, just awesome stuff. Doing All Right is kind of more of a slower pop song, right? You get a little bit of that on this album. Of course, every Queen album has got that. You have to have that. Great King Rat was Dirty Old Rat. I mean, just Fast and Furious. Love the Great King Rat. Terrific song. Muscular riffing on that one. Then you got the awesome regal My Fairy King, right? Again, there's this regal, majestic nature to all the Queen stuff, but specifically the early stuff. It's kind of it's like hard rock, it's glam, right? It's like proto metal, it's pop kind of and show tune kind of stuff, vaudeville, Broadway type of thing, all blended into one. It's amazing stuff. Over on side 2, you got one of my favorite songs on the album, one of my favorite Queen songs, which is Liar. So heavy. Great vocal from Freddie. Liar is great. Then you got The Night Comes Down again. That's that more of kind of tranquil poppy type stuff. And then of course you got the Roger Taylor heavy rock and boogie of Modern Times rock and roll, right? It's so frantic and crushing and right, but it's way too quick, but really cool song, really good vocal. I always like Roger's vocals. I think it's really good. And then my absolute favorite song on the album, which is Son and Daughter. That is just so doomy, kind of Sabbathy, right? This big, huge, kind of bluesy, heavy rock, proto-metal riffing, right? Just awesome. And then you got Jesus, right? More soaring vocals from Freddie, and Seven Seas a Ride, the instrumental version of the song. I just love the kind of intricate, kind of quirky nature of Seven Seas Awry. It's awesome. And as cool as this brief little instrumental is, I love the actual full realized version with the vocals. I think Seven Seas Awry is just absolutely terrific. So, yeah. So, and you get the reissue. You get stuff like Mad the Swine on there, which is kind of a fun, quirky track. But the main album itself, to me, is just absolutely terrific. Again, another one of the great debuts in rock and roll history. So hard hitting. The image of them wearing like the robes, flowing robes, and Freddie with the long hair and the spikes, and just so cool. So cool. What a great time, right? Charting information. Let's see. Japan, this made it to number 52. UK album charts number 32, and US Billboard, this made it to number 83. So not a big seller for the band. They would start to gain momentum quickly, starting with the second and certainly the third album, right? And then from there, it just started, once Night at the Opera comes out, then all of a sudden Queen go from being kind of like a fairly popular kind of underground band to a major deal. What else we got here? Also Australia, number 77, right? So did pretty well, but nothing breaking the bank. Certifications in Poland, this was a platinum album, 20,000 copies sold. UK, gold, 100,000 copies sold. And eventually this one in the States went gold as well, 500,000 units sold. But again, the sales of the early part of the catalog helped tremendously with the big success of A Night at the Opera, A Day at the Races, and all the albums that came afterwards up to, Game here in the States especially. All of a sudden, people started going backwards and discovering the Queen, Queen 2, Sheer Heart Attack, so on and so forth. News of the World obviously sold a lot too as well. So yeah, they had some really big albums in the latter part of the 70s. And once they became this big, huge phenomenon, people started going back and scooping up the early stuff, which they kind of ignored back in the day, right? So, yeah. So that is my pick for today. Queen, self-titled debut. Let us know what you think of this down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 16. Tune in tomorrow for number 15, right? The top 15. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And see you in just a little while for ranking the albums. I'll be ranking the catalog of the great Virginia doom / stoner / psych band called Windhand. 4 killer albums. If you're a Doom fan, you don't want to miss that. And tomorrow, don't worry, I'll have a different shirt on tomorrow. Of course, I was busy all weekend. We had a whole bunch of family coming from out of state for the entire weekend, so I would not be on the computer at all. So I pre-recorded all of these a few days back, so you would have all of them pre-loaded up in the channel for you guys to check out every morning. So Rory Gallagher will be disappearing tomorrow, obviously. So, but I know you guys don't mind seeing Rory. Rory's the best, right? So, anyway, see you tomorrow morning with another one. Pick number 15. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.